Okay, so you just started Brawlhalla and you're wondering where do you go from here, right? And thankfully you found this guide. I just want to start off by saying that I have not slept for 3 fucking days, so please excuse my moody face. This is a long guide incoming, and this guide is going to cover everything from, dodge reading your opponent, how to like win neutral better and stuff like that. Just everything is pretty much going to be in this guide, and it's going to be a lot of tips to actually improving, and I really hope that it does help you improve once you listen to it all. It's going to be a long guide, so I hope you be prepared for the wild ride we're about to head on. It took me a very long time. It's extremely difficult to make these videos because I'm on a potato computer, so I really want to drive the point home of how difficult this actually is to make these kind of clips and get them on this god-awful PC that's running like shit right now. So it takes me probably about 2 hours to render a not even a 10-minute video, so think about how long this is going to take. Regardless, I really do hope you guys enjoy the video, and I know this is a bit cheesy, but I am going to put my PayPal in the description. I just wanted to tell you guys, it's a shameless plug-in, I know, I don't really care. If you want to contribute to anything towards a new PC, then go right ahead, it is there if you would like to. Don't feel obligated in the slightest, please don't. I'm putting it there because I need all the help I can get, really. So that's my shameless plug-in pretty much over, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope it really helps you improve, and yeah, just enjoy. Peace. Okay, so when you first launch Brawlhalla, I'm going to go over every single thing in this main menu right now. Just to, if you just started the game, you're not going to know what anything is, right? I mean, these kind of things are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just go over what everything is. So first of all, you start the game, this comes up right now, the cool little battle pass. Make sure to buy it, fucking sick. Support the developers. So anyway, play.
Online.
When you click play, you'll have 4 options. Free for all, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Strikeout 1v1. Basically, you pick 3 legends. Whenever you die, in the specific order that you picked the legends, you'll get your next legend. So if I die and then you respawn, I'll come back as the next character that I picked. So yeah, I was just explaining what that is. From 2v2, again, pretty self-explanatory. Team damage is off. Experimental 1v1. There is no just normal 1v1 queue, which is very surprising about this game. It's very weird. I think it needs to be added, but still. Experimental 1v1. Basically, if you click this, you get test features, and this isn't really necessary for you to know. To be honest, really isn't necessary for you to know regarding just beginning. You're not really gonna need to know this shit. The new dodge changes you probably will need to know, but other than that, you should be good. You should be okay. Other than that, yeah, that's the play version of it. Then you are ranked, pretty self-explanatory. Ranked 1v1 and ranked 2v2 are the same regarding every season. It's never going to change. These are always going to be there. Ranked 3v3, for example, this right here, this changes every season. So every time a season starts, basically a new game mode will be added to the ranked queue. So it is different. So it's not going to be ranked 3v3 all the time. So yeah. Join ranked, connect by room number. I'll briefly just quickly explain this here because it's just a lot eeasier. So say I go into a experimental 1v1 and then I see this and I want someone to join my lobby. You'll see 120858, sorry. And then this is the room number. So say if someone wanted to join me, I'd send them that room code, and then you would go like this, for example. You'd join the room. That's what it means by that. So yeah, that's what it means by join ranked, etc. Connect by room number. Just wanted to briefly explain that. So the battle pass, yeah, that's what it is. Custom game room. You have multiple options. You have browse room, which is rooms in your region, or you can pick outside of your region. You can click and activate whichever you want in whichever region you want as well. So you can filter your searches for each game mode, etc. All that sort of stuff. So yeah. Join room, again, connect by room number. And then create room. Create room, you have two options. You have private room and public room. Public room is open to everyone, obviously. And private room, you can basically just invite people. Okay? And you invite people by going to your friends list, and you scroll down here, and then you click. And then if they're in a game, you can't really invite them, but if they're outside a game, you can press invite. Okay? So Ghost Bubble Tag, this is one of the Brawl of the Week. This changes again. You'll get like different game modes and stuff like that every every week, and you get extra gold bonuses for doing it as well. So you get some pretty cool game modes in there. But yeah, offline play, you have 4. Couch Party, pretty much irrelevant. Couch Party, local, offline. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Training mode is basically where you can like set the bot to do things, and you can verse a bot. You can learn how to dodge, read, react, whatever. I'll briefly explain that in a tier of its own later on in the video, so you can actually fully understand training mode. Tournament, pretty useless. Again, tutorials, pretty useless. It doesn't really do much of explaining the game, so I wouldn't even recommend going for that. Although it does give you, it does give you a bit of fucking gold. So I'm, 450 gold. That's not too bad. So meet the legends. This is where your legends are. So meet the legends is pretty much where you just see the progress of each legend, and you see all their skins and stuff, and then the store, pretty self-explanatory. It is what it is. This is roughly about it for that part of the section. I mean, store's pretty obvious, right? Skins and shit. Inventory, this is where you pick your avatar, your title, your KO effect, your sidekick, your loading frame, your UI theme, podium, and emotes and stuff like that. So this is where you choose the battle pass and stuff. Notifications, this is where you accept invites and you see your daily missions. This is obviously your friends tab, and this is where your clan is. So if you've joined a clan, this is where it will show up. You know what I mean? This is where you see your replays. And then this is all your settings. Okay, so you go to system settings, you will find music volume, sound volume, display mode, obviously showing your player names. So this will, if you're in game, this will decide whether you see people's names above their heads or not. Collapse crossovers, basically what this means is if you have crossovers like this, for example, if you turn it off, it won't show up. But if I individually click core and select the crossover, you can still see it. So yeah, you know what I mean. And if you collapse the crossovers, you just won't see it here. That's pretty much all it means. Doesn't mean anything too important. Collapse upgrades. Collapse upgrades basically means, like, so the battle pass skin, for example. You have a battle pass skin, so I'll go into offline mode. Okay, so you have Skyforged. What am I even talking about? Go to the battle pass skin. You have level 3, level 2, and level 1. This is basically what it means. You'll see this. This is what collapse upgrades means. It basically just shows all the versions of the skin instead of just showing the level 3 version or whatever version you've leveled up to, for example. Chat visibility, all, like it just shows the chat and shit. Stock mode timer basically just shows you the timer at the top right and stuff in game. Camera mode, that just shows basically like your type of camera, so you can go close up, that follows you, and all that sort of stuff. Language, pretty self-explanatory. Outdated replays, you can either delete them or keep them. You can see your replays and just go back and see what you did wrong, etc. I'll explain more of that further in the video. Controls, this is where you change your controls, pretty self-explanatory. Change region, this is where you change your region. You can report bugs, but it doesn't do jack shit. image render tool. This is basically where you can see skins. So if I wanted to see a 2016 podium, for example, right, I can do this. Like if I want to see the 2017 Heatwave podium, you can see it through this, and you can see the colors and shit like that, and you can see it frame by frame. You can take individual photos that are then saved to your directory. You know, you can do all stuff like that. So you can basically just view skins that are every file in the game, pretty much, like every skin file, every weapon style in the game, just through the image render tool. And yeah, so this is pretty much done for the main menu part. Oh, something I really want to go over as well is tournaments. You click right down here, and this is where you can find the socials. It's where you can find official tournaments. It's where you can go to the community tournaments, for example. You can go to power ranks, and then you can see people's earnings and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this version. Sorry, this section. Let's move on to the next section, terminology.
I'm adding this section as I'm just about to edit the clips and everything like that. So basically I forgot to put this in, but keyboard or controller. Now your controls are like completely up to you, find what works for you. But my controls, I'll quickly tell you them right now, okay? So WASD I use to move. I'm using keyboard currently. I don't use controller, but it's all up to you. If you find controller more comfortable, go for it. Just realize that there's going to be more input lag, so you just have to keep that in mind. So WASD to move, and then I use Shift to dash back and dash forward and dash back, you know, and dodge and all that sort of stuff. I have jump on spacebar. I have weapon throw to my up arrow key. Then I have my light attack key on the left arrow. I have my heavy attack key on my right arrow. So this is just what I've used for the past few years, and it's just really comfortable, it's easy to use. So it's just what I personally find easier, as I don't like the close together keyboard controls. It's really uncomfortable for me. I like it. I like my hands like spaced apart, and it's good for your hands as well. You kind of want your controls to where you're not like this, because it will start to hurt your wrists more, especially in a game like Brawlhalla as well. You need to be able to have your wrists resting nicely, and yeah, especially if you're going to be doing like complex movement and stuff, you don't want your wrists to be like this. It's just not going to be comfortable for you. So yeah. But regarding keyboard and controller, like I said, it all comes down to personal preference. So just thought I'd add that in there just to clarify anything, and just tell you my controls in case you want to use them, and it's very, very useful. So yeah, also make sure to turn on in your settings, prioritize neutral over side, and take away the button. Take away the box that ticks. I think it's called like pick up with light attacks. I think that's what the setting is called. You untick that box and make sure it's off to make it a lot easier for you. So yeah.
Alrighty, so in this section I'm gonna go over like a brief version of basic terminology in this game. So like first of all, I'm gonna go into like the real basics. So first of all, when you attack, and you'll see my on-screen keyboard to help you out here. When you attack in a specific direction, there's terms for it, and the community, I mean, it's not like a defined term or anything, it's just people have came up with their own term, and we've all kind of just stuck with it, and yeah, we've been doing it ever since. So I'm just going to go over like the simple terminology that people use in the game for the moves and stuff. So first of all, while you're grounded, you have sidelight, which can be done on screen, and my on-screen keyboard should help you with the actual like inputs. So this is light attack, this is my heavy attack, jump is that's spacebar jump, WASD is to move, and then shift to dodge and dash. Okay, so first off you have sidelight. Oh, sorry. You have sidelight. Then you have D-light or downlight. Then you have N light, which is basically a neutral light. Then you have side air, which is basically while you're in the air you do side lights. That's the best way I can describe it, so just keep that in mind. So that's side air, down air, neutral air. Then you have recovery, you have jump, you have ground pound, you have side signature, down signature, and neutral signature. Then on to more advanced terms, you would have dash jump fast fall, which is basically like I have this like in my movement guide just to put this out there. So if you're only like looking for a movement guide, then just go watch that. It's pretty simple. Just goes in depth on all the like movement options that you have. So yeah, that's like the basic terminology. I'm not going to go too in depth now that I really think about it. I don't want to make it too complicated for new beginners. So yeah, as you just learn the basics. As for your options, okay, so as your options, you basically have 3 jumps and a recovery. So you have 1, 2, 3, and a dodge. So you have 1, 2, 3, jump, and also recovery and a dodge. So you mix up all these movement options together. So like, you know what I mean? And this is how you usually get back to stage. Recovery is usually for, you know, recovering. You know, it's for you to get it back to stage. And you use your dodge. So I'll explain dodge briefly. You can dodge in pretty much every single direction. Every direction you can think of. Down, back, forward, down right, down left, up right, up left, up, and neutral. So yeah, you can dodge in any direction, just keep that in mind. Next term is gravity cancel, which isn't again like a defined term into Brawlhalla. We've just sort of made it up and went along with it. It's called gravity cancel. It's basically when you input a neutral dodge and immediately cancel that with an attack. So if I do a neutral light, which is this, and then I jump and I GC it and I press the neutral light, it'll play that animation. So basically you can do grounded attacks mid-air, and that's basically what it means. So yeah, this is like the terminology portion. I guess I briefly explained it all. I don't really know how to explain it any simpler. It's probably the easiest explanation I could have done. So yeah, that's it for this section. Let's move on to the next. I also forgot chase dodge. I forgot to briefly explain it. Basically, when you hit an opponent, you get a chase dodge, and you can pretty much dodge anywhere forward. You can't dodge back. You can dodge forward and back because you have 2 chase dodges. So when you hit your opponent, you can dodge. You can use your chase dodge to like sort of mix up your movement slightly. So I just thought I'd give a quick explanation for what it was, because I did miss chase dodge, and also I don't think I added ground pound. Ground pound is like the down heavy. When you're in the air off stage. I don't think I explained it. I probably have, but there you go. I'm tired. So okay, so I'm just using image render tool to briefly explain what every weapon in the game is. So you have blasters, you have greatsword, you have orb, you have cannon, you have scythe, you have gauntlets, axe, bow, katars, spear, hammer, rocket lance, sword, and those are all your weapon options. Okay, so each legend has specific stats. There are some characters who do have the same stats, but again, all characters do have different stats. What I mean by this is the numbers itself, not the actual stat itself. There are only 4 stats in the game. That is strength, right here, as you can see my cursor's down here by the way. So strength, dexterity, speed, and defense. Okay, so then you have weapon combinations, so this would be cannon and axe. You can see down here, you go to this, there's bow and sword. So each character has different weapon combinations that you can pick from. So okay, so in total you have a total of 54 legends, unless I'm stupid and I miscounted. So yeah, you have 54 legends to choose from, with their own personal signatures. And what I mean by that is every character has individual different signatures. So I'll show you what I mean really quickly. Just give you a brief explanation of what I'm talking about. Okay, so signatures are like what I said before in the terminology section. With side signatures, when you pick up a weapon, each character has their own individual personal signatures. So yeah, just keep that in mind for future. So you have Bodvar, Cassidy, Orion, Vrax, Nash, Queen Nai, Hattori, Sir Roland, Scarlet, Thatch, Ada, Sentinel, Lucian, Teros, Bryn, Azuri, Barraza, Ember, Azoth, Koji, Ulgrim, Laura, I almost said Laura Croft, my bad, Diana, Jala, Cole, Wushang, Val, Ragnia, Cross, Mirage, Nyx, Mordex, Yumiko, Artemis, Caspian, Sidra, Zol, Kaya, Isaiah, Jiro, Linfei, Zariel, Rayman, Dusk, Fate, Thor, Petra, Vector, Volkov, Onyx, Jaeyun, Mako, Magyar, Reno, and Moonin. A question that gets asked a lot at the when players just come into the game or they've just recently started, they usually ask the question of, oh, which character's the best? Which character's good? Which character's, you know, good for playing? Which character will get me diamond? And all this sort of stuff. Brawlhalla is probably one of the most balanced fighting games there has ever been, and I mean that in a positive, real positive way, because it definitely, well, of course it's a positive thing, but that's not the point. It's a very good thing. The game is very well balanced. You can win with every single legend. It's all on you to be good enough, and it's really up to you to improve at the game, to become better. Never blame your legend for being bad or stuff like that, because every legend is good, unless you're talking about Sir Roland or Queen Nai, then yeah, just don't even bother. Those are pretty much the only legends that I would never recommend. It's just Sir Roland and Queen Nai. If you have fun with them, go for them, but yeah, just no. So characters that you should play is all dependent on what weapons you really want to play, and that's all down to you. You have to find your personal preference. If you play what's just like good in the meta and you have fun with that, okay, good for you. But most people aren't going to get enjoyment from that, so I highly recommend you find a weapon that suits you and you stick to that, because otherwise you're going to get very bored in this game. Very, very bored. So you find a legend that you like, good stats, right? And you play that legend. You're going to have fun with it, as long as you're not actively focusing on which legend's the best, which legend's the best. Just play whatever you enjoy, and this is 100% serious. What character you play only really makes a difference when you're in top 200, like, being real. When you're like top 200 placement, like, you don't have to worry about this if you just start the game. Just don't. Play whatever fucking legend you want. Have fun. Just enjoy the game for what it is, and yeah. Okay, I'm going to be giving a tip, or a brief tip, for every single legend in the game, and I'm going to try going over as quickly as possible, but yeah, just stay tuned. Okay, so a small little tip you can do is use Ensig for edge guarding. It's very unpunishable now with a buff. You're not really punishing this. Yeah, there's no chance of punishing this if they're off stage. So yeah, you're never going to get punished for that. Great signature to use off stage. Next is when you do a side light into D-lights, basically you can go for an Ensig. After that, pretty self-explanatory, most of you obviously already know this, but it's very good if they don't have a dodge. So if they've wasted their dodge, you can just go for this full string. So yeah. For Artemis, Artemis is a really good case. I guess something you could really use with Artemis is, say you hit a downlight on your opponent and they don't have a dodge, you can go for a Ensig. Ensig is guaranteed unjumpable if they don't have a dodge. So that's just a quick Artemis tip. Azuri, after hitting an N-light with guitars, what you can actually do is go for an Ensig, and it will cover a multitude of dodges. Azoth, use downsig. Try using downsig as much as you can, obviously within reason, and it'll really help your gameplay. You can use it for edge guarding. It's just unpunishable. You're never punishing this. Yeah, this move is just crazy. It kills really early, and it covers Axe's sort of weakness. It's just very good as a grounded tool. Like you could do it out of N-light and stuff like that. It's just a very good option. Very useful signature that covers Axe's weaknesses. It's just a grounded move that you need to be scared of with Azoth. You know, so. Brawlhalla, I think everyone knows this, but you obviously want to use Ensig or try and use the reversal as much as best as you can. Use it wisely, obviously, but it's a very useful tool. It reaches quite far onto the edge. Very useful move. Covers a large amount of area and covers quite a lot of inward dodges. So say your opponent is coming back to stage, they're running out of options. You sort of just go behind them and then just use the Ensig because it will cover the dodge. So yeah. So people, players who land on top of you, you can sort of use Bryn's D-Sig as a landing tool. So when they land on you, you can sort of just GC down Sig, and it'll cover them a lot of time and hit them. Bodvar. Bodvar is an easy one. Ensig covers a multitude of dodges, so you can use it to trick your opponent and using it after D-light. So very good option to do. It just covers a multitude of dodges, which is just really good in my opinion. Caspian. With Caspian, you can use Sidesig as a ledge tool. Using Sidesig with Caspian is a very good ledge tool, ledge trapping tool, my bad. As it's really difficult to punish. It's like you're never punishing this on whiff. It's a really disjointed hitbox. You're like very unlikely to punish this unless you're like directly above. So Cassidy, you want to like try and abuse the lasso as much as possible. It covers like Hammer's weakness like really well. A dashing Ensig works wonders. You'd be surprised how often it works. Like very insane low recovery. Yeah, it's just a light attack. Cross, definitely learn to hit downlight Ensig on Cross. Cross has the strongest signature in the game. This kills earlier than any other move in the game. It's been tested. It kills at 60 damage on this map on the side. So yeah, it's really nutty. Diana, you want to mix between her bow sigs. So you want to mix between down sig and end sig. You want to learn to mix these up. You know, like just after side light, or just like D light. Sorry, yeah, D light. You can do this like that. It's also a true combo with the last frame of D light. So if you hit it like that, it'll count as a true combo. So won't be able to dodge it. So very useful thing to know. Also, it's unjumpable if they don't have a dodge. So also another really useful thing. Dusk's like very useful. His down sig can be extremely good for edge guarding. You'd be surprised how good this thing is. I don't know. It's a really weird signature that people don't really expect. But if you throw it out and learn to use it, it's a very good signature. Also on his side sig, you can charge it for a little bit of extra damage if they don't have a dodge, or you can do it for even longer if they don't have a dodge and get even more damage. Also, far-reaching dashed in Dynamite can actually lead into a true combo into side sig. So like this. That is a true combo. It's been in the game for like a few years now. It's just like not many people do it. So Ember. So one tip for Ember would be to learn to use her end sig. It covers pretty much like every single dodge out of side light. It's ridiculous. It's really surprising how the hitbox has been nerfed at this point. But it covers just so many dodges. If they don't have a dodge, by the way, you can do this. Oh, sorry. You can do that, or you can just do that, and that's just unjumpable. They can't escape that. So, Fate. You want to abuse the end sig as much as possible. You really just want to abuse this move. It's really good for one main reason. It covers Orb's weakness, which is like, it's like above and away from itself, like upright. There's no real move apart from like dash up, but even then they can stay in like this range and stuff like that and just keep jumping over. It's very difficult to actually land near sometimes, so it's a very short range move. But that's what the N6 for. It covers that weakness. Also, another thing you can do is sidelight N-Sig if they don't have a dodge. Nash, another thing. Nash has a true combo. It's downlight side sig. Downlight side sig is actually a true combo if I'm not mistaken. I think it's still true, but I know it's still like, if not, it's gonna be like one frame, but still. So yeah. Use N-Sig. You can use N-Sig after a couple of dodges. It covers like so many dodges. It has like insane low recovery too. So yeah, great signature. Hattori. You can also use their down sig, even though it's like really risky. You can use her down sig as a tool for them getting back to stage. So if you know they don't have any options left, you can sort of just slide charge it, and it'll sort of like suck them in anyway. So a really good thing if they don't have a dodge, because they can't really get back from this. So yeah. Isaiah, abuse like the down signatures as much as possible. Because these things are like actually broken. You'd be surprised how like good these signatures are. So like there's no recovery. You're never punishing this. I don't care what anyone says. You're never punishing this. It's just it's too good. It's the same with gun D-Sig. You can pretty much just like recover instantly. So it's a very good tool. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah. Jae-Young, you want to in the middle of greatsword strings, you can sort of use N-Sig as a dodge reader, so sometimes they'll spot dodge. and then you go for an N-Sig, for example. So really good thing to use. Downline N-Sig is unjumpable with J-Yun, so it's a really good thing if they don't have dodge. So easy punish. Plus J-Yun's N-Sig is really good. Really hard to punish because you can sort of like just drift away after using it, like that. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare that they're gonna punish it. So really good move. Brawlhalla, abuse sword down sig. Very very good move. It's just a light attack that kills. It does like 30 damage. So it's insane. Also side light N sig. Insane string. This move kills ridiculously early. Yeah, it kills ridiculously early for what it is. The hitbox is just absolutely crazy. Like just insane. Brawlhalla's like pretty insane character overall. Jiro, you can just like abuse down sig as much as possible because like the move has no recovery. So yeah, the move has like 0-0, so you can sort of use it for like edge trapping. If they decide to poke their head up, they're gonna get caught by this. So very good move. Kaya, sidelight into N-Sig and stuff like that. You can use N-Sig to cover a multitude of dodges because it hits grounded too, so low damage, you can dash in an N-Sig, it'll cover like up, it'll cover in, etc. Then you can use it as like a 50-50, so yeah, really good move. Also use bow N-Sig when they're above you, sort of in that range that like a dash N-Light. This is just like a bigger hitbox that kills, so basically. So Koji, with Koji you have a true combo, which is downline GC N-Sig, really good kill option. So yeah, you also have side sig. You can charge it for a little more. So once you hit it, you can charge it for slightly more for extra KO power. For core, you have downline N-Sig unjumpable. I used to be a true combo. It probably still is. I don't know. I can't even be asked to check. But still, it's gonna be reliable anyway. Like most people don't even react to the downlight. So yeah. Got his gauntlets. I mean, you can use the N-Sig to your advantage. It's just crazy move. Linfei is like a really good ledge trapper. Cannon is pretty good at ledge trapping in general, but like you can like sort of mix up your options with your down sig because it's a very good move. Low recovery, obviously. You're not really punishing this if they're down below, and if you go over the ledge, obviously you get like a little thing that goes over the edge, like a little dragon. Really good move. Okay, so guitars. So if you've just done a string, the guitars don't drop. You can do N-Sig. Sometimes they'll spot dodge, and this will cover it. It hits higher than most people realize. So yeah. Lucian. Lucian's a really good example. Lucian's a really good character. Learn to use down sig. Learning to use down sig is a very good tool. It just kills so early. Once you hit this, they're just dead. They're fucking dead. One secret thing you can do as well is people don't really expect it, to be honest. People never really expect it. The amount of times I've done this and got away with it. Basically, when you're off stage with Lucian, basically what you can do is, if you're out of jumps, right? Don't do what I just did and die, but that's not the point. I think you understand what I'm doing. But you can use it as a way to get back to stage, and because you fall down after the thing, you're sort of unpunishable and you can fall onto the stage. That's definitely not a done sig. So yeah. it's just a really good way to not get punished and get your jumps back. So yeah. Magyar, you can sort of weave in your NSIG into strings, and what I mean by that, so there are some strings that you can jump out of with greatsword. So if they don't have a dodge, they're probably going to try and spam their jump key, right? So NSIG is a really good tool to cover that. It's also a pretty good tool to get back to stage with. I think the animation looks really cool as well. Yeah, it's just a pretty good option to get back to stage. So yeah, this is a true combo, I'm pretty sure, or either that or it's like one frame. So yeah, just in case you hit D like grounded. So Mako, Mako, you want to weave your down sig into strings. So you hit the string, you can sort of just weave the down sig into it, and also use your NSIG as much as possible, you know, respectively. Come on, like it's just a really good move to catch people off guard, like jumping against greatsword. Really good tool to again weave into your greatsword gameplay, and abuse guitar down sig, because you can just sort of like, you just have so much momentum. You're not really going to be punishing it too often. Okay, so Mirage. Mirage is a really good example because you can abuse the 2D sigs on both of their weapons. Very good. You can use side sig as an edge guard tool because it sort of just covers like just over the ledge. It will hit. So yeah. Side light into D sig is a 50-50. So you can side light if they dodge in or up, etc. You can just sit there and do a D sig. If they dodge away, you can just go for the dash into D sig. Mordex, not a lot of people expect the downlight into D sig. Some people may spot dodge it, which then you can just hold it. It's a pretty good kill option that surprisingly works a majority of the time. Abuse D sig. A D sig is like a very good move that you want to start like learning how to use. Very, very hard to punish. Like, yeah, very, very good move. Moonin, just abuse every signature because this character is fucking broken. Queen Nai, you have a true combo, so out of downlight, GC NSIG is true, so you can do downlight GC NSIG true. It's a 42 damage combo, very good to end stocks with. So yeah. You can use DSig pretty safe for edge trapping. NSIG is like a crazy underrated move. That not a lot of people fucking abuse. You want to abuse it as much as possible because it's such an insane move. Nyx. If they don't have a dodge, you can downlight it. You can downlight into NSIG or sidelight into NSIG, for example. It's just such a good option, and it kills very, very early. Downsig on Scythe, use this as much as possible because it has insane range. Side sig, what you can do is you can GC it to make it like even more unpunishable. So yeah. So just a really good tip. You can GC it to make it like even more safe. Onyx, you want to use your NSIG to your advantage. You can do it out of D-Light. It's just a very good option because it covers like so many dodges as well. Or you can do sidelight NSIG. It's such a good tool. Yeah, just abuse it basically. Very good move. Orion. Use D-Sig to space out approaches. You can catch people most of the time with just doing this. So like dash back and do a GC D-Sig. It'll cover like, a lot of people's approaches and people don't really expect it. And you can do that as well, stuff like that to cover spot dodges. Sidelight NSIG covers a multitude of dodges. If you learn to read out a Sidelight Nair on that, covers a multitude of dodges as well. Petra, use the Gauntlet NSIG as a punish option, so like as in it's basically just a beefed up Gauntlet Sidelight that kills. You can also do D-Light Grounded D-Light Nair, sorry, and if they don't have a dodge, you can just go for the NSIG and it'll kill them a lot earlier, obviously. And also abuse side sig. One thing that a lot of people don't know is Petra has active inputs, so you can actually send them up. So if you're this side of the stage and you know that they're not enough to kill, send them up, because this is upwards is going to kill earlier than if you try to kill them like, you know, from there all the way to here. You know, it's just not going to work. So yeah. Ragnar, use the side sig on stage. You can also use down sig to like stop the edge. People sometimes will really really just walk into it. Surprising. Sidelight NSIG, pretty good combo. You'd actually be surprised how much it hits, even with people like when they have dodges. So Rayman, obviously you can like use side sig to your advantage. If you charge it up, you get like just insane range. Very good move. Out of Sidelight, you can go for NSIG if they don't have a dodge for the Reno. It's just a crazy move. Also, you can use down sig to like just get all your jumps back. It's surprising how like high it reaches. You'd be like, it's just weird how you touch. Yeah, so very good move. But again, if they don't have dodge, yeah, just Sidelight into NSIG, very satisfying. So Roland, only like amazing signature I would say is down sig on lance and down sig on sword. Like this has an amazing hitbox. It's just like a defensive move. It's really good in my opinion. Like it's probably the best signature also Roland. Also you have the baseball bat swing obviously. It just has an absurd hitbox. So yeah. Scarlet, you can do like a downlight NSIG if they don't have a dodge. Side sig just covers like so much of that area, especially on like maps like Demon Island. It just covers so much of that ledge. So yeah, use that as much as I can. Sentinel, out of strings, use down sig and it will cover a multitude of dodges. NSIG has like insane active frames, insane reach, has like an absurd hitbox. So yeah, use it. Use Cannon NSIG as you can recover while the hitbox is out. Well, you can have two hitboxes at the same time. So okay, so quick tips for Teros. Downlight NSIG is it's unjumpable. It's really good for catching people off stage. Axe NSIG, it's got really dumb like thing. If you catch an NSIG like on this side like the stage and you catch them, it's automatically true into a D-Light. Sorry, yeah, into a day. I meant sorry. It's automatically true into a day. So yeah. Thatch. Good little thing you can do is downlight GC side sig, really unjumpable when they don't have a dodge. So yeah, really good. Down sig, very underrated move. Really good for like ledge trapping. Like you'd be surprised how well this works. So yeah. Thor, use his NSIG to get back to stage. You can sort of stall. I'll give you like a very brief example. Yeah, I would have made it back, but it was a little bit off, but I think you understand the point. So yeah, Olgrim, use down sig as like a really good kill option. It's like just a dash in D sig works like more often than you think. It's just like a perfect signature for Axe. It just covers like both sides. Insane hitbox, really fast. Val, downlight NSIG is true. So yeah, very useful to know. Some quick tips on getting back to stage. So say someone's ledge guarding you, good little thing you can do with Val is come just like to the top of the stage, like where your head is, and then side like GC side sig, and it'll push you on the stage. Really, you can do it with like quite a few signatures, and a lot of people get surprised by it. So Vector's a really cool example. You can use side sig to your advantage to stall. And as you can see, I literally just got all my jumps back. And you can stall with Lance fucking recovery. Like the I just fucking okay. I think you get what I'm doing. It's just an amazing move. You can do it getting back to stage. Very useful. As soon as you touch, you've got all your options back. Just immediately side air away from stage, and you're good. So it goes backwards as well when it hits the wall. Like it does that backward bonk. So yeah, very useful. Use Ensig to cover like Lance's weaknesses, which is like right above it. This covers like on the ground, so you can just surprise people with the sig and it kills really early. So Volkov you can use down sig as a ledge trapping tool, and you're safe. So yeah, just use this move. Just use this fucking move. This sig is so broken. Yeah, just insane. Lord Vrax, that's unjumpable if they don't have dodge. Really good kill option. Side sig hits like the hitbox is just nuts. Down sig first, use N sig as best as you can learn to use it. It's amazing, has insane reach. So yeah, very good tool. And yeah, use side sig like in GCs and shit. It surprises a lot of people. Wushang learned to ledge trap with both his N sig and his side sig. He has easily the best, probably one of the best sig in the game. I'd argue that this is the best sig in the game, just because of how good it is. It's just like a light attack, grounded. It's just insane. I'd say Wushang's probably the best ledge trapper in the game, easily, because you're not punishing this for a start. You're just not punishing it. You're just getting an end light to your face. Whenever you do try to punish it, yeah, you're just getting smacked in the face. Zol. Use down sig for a ledge trapping option. It covers it's just a massive amount of area, and plus you have no recovery. Use N sig. It sort of covers Cannon's weakness. So yeah, really good option. You'd be surprised how many people just walk into the N sig like this. Just dash N sig. It surprisingly works. Anything else? You can use it as a slide charge too, to cover a huge amount of area. So Yumiko. Well, you can do the true combo. This is a true combo. You can actually do downline and sig if you're not stupid like me. It covers a multitude of dodges. It's insane for getting back to stage. Yumiko has a 0 to death. If I can get it in the right spot. Okay, so she has a 0 to death that you can do. Pretty much it's all guaranteed. So if I don't want to invite that. So if I GC Ensig here. I'm sorry. Can you walk off stage? Okay, needs to be a little bit further on the edge, my bad. Okay, so right here, you GC Ensig, you chase dodge down, and then you recovery. You reverse the recovery. Not like that. Put me down like that. As you can see, just 0 to death zone. It's all guaranteed. So yeah, very good tool. Use GC side sig, very quick signature, pretty much unreactable. Unless you're really expecting it. Even then, it's still just insanely difficult to react to. Zariel, use Ensig. The distance and travel time is insane. It's a crazy move. It just covers Golmet's weakness, all the way above here. that you can just like jump away from, but this sig just covers it. It's insane. Also side sig is like broken. Downlight side sig is 1 frame, very good kill option. And that's it. Go back to Ada. So yeah, that's all. Okay, so some weapons in this meta right now that have always been good. Some really like some easy weapons that I really recommend starting on is either sword, hammer, or I'd say spear. They're like the easiest weapons to learn and play. They're very simple. They have easy combos. They flow into each other very nicely, and they're really easy for the beginners to pick up. So I'd really suggest sword, hammer, and spear easily. And some honorable mentions would be on some good spear characters would be Orion. You'd have like Bodvar for a good hammer character and sword character. Wushang probably being the best spear character, spear and gauntlets. Gauntlets are already I mean they're like a decently simple weapon. I'd also suggest axe. Axe is a pretty simple weapon. All of those are pretty basic. They're very easy to use. So some legends that I do recommend playing would again be Orion, you know, Hattori. Then you'd have like Bryn. You'd have like Koji as a basic example. You'd have Wushang. Then you could have you could, I mean that's roughly about it. Or you could have like Azoth or something like that. You know, just like simple characters, pretty easy to learn. Most weapons in the game aren't that difficult to learn, but they're just hard to master. Alright, so we're gonna be going basically over every like a decent amount of strings and combos that you can use, pretty basic ones that you can use at the beginning of the game. So yeah, I just want to start off by saying these combos are pretty easy to learn, and I have my on-screen keyboard to help you. So first off with sword, you know, we have Jesus Christ, we have downlight side air, downlight nair, downlight dare, downlight dare recovery at later HPs, and yeah, downlight recovery as well. Hammer, downlight sidelight, downlight GC N-light, downlight sidelight dash N-light, you have say downlight, you have say downlight sidelight dash N-light, you have D-light into jump reverse day, you have GC nair, GC downlight nair, you have sidelight into downlight, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, just some basic strings. Gauntlets, downlight sidelight, downlight dash jump dare, downlight dash N-light, say into chase dodge nair, nair into GC N-light, what else? There's not really much to teach on gauntlets like combos wise, but those are just like the gist. You know, you gotta learn to read dodges with this weapon. But anyway, katars, downlight nair, sidelight N-light, sidelight D-light, dare D-light, next weapon would be blasters, downlight dash jump, I'm terrible, what, my keyboard broken? Yeah, downlight dash jump dare, downlight sidelight, you have say, downlight dash jump D-light dare, Jesus Christ, why is it doing that? Thank you. You have downlight dash jump there into GC downlight recovery. What is going on, dude? Downlight side light. Sorry. Downlight side light chase dodge nair. You have side light. Sorry, say into side light. Side light into say. End light into chase dodge reverse nair. Go there into GC light and then into whatever you want. Downlight into say, and yep. Okay, so oh yeah, bow. So you have side light down. What is going on with the keyboard? Alright, thank you. So you have side light, D light into you know, you can go for a nair, you can go for a say, you can go for a recovery at later HPs. So yeah, so like downlight say, as an example, downlight nair, and then also you have combos like, downlight into jump. Wait. Yeah, downlight into jump, there into end light, and then you can go for into a fucking nair. You know, you have say into side light. You have side light into dash jump there, and then dusk. So spear combos, obviously you have side light, D light, say. You have end light into side light. You have say into end light. You have if they jump, obviously you can go for end light into dash jump. Sorry, not dash jump. A dash into D light. Side light, D light, GC D light, and then you can go into chase dodge nair. So for example, and then you can follow up recovery and then possibly a nair to kill them. So orb, side light D light nair, side light chase dodge nair into say, side light D light nair, side light D light nair. Oh, sorry. Side light, D light, nair, GC, D light, nair. There you go. Oh yeah, sorry, I actually almost forgot. My bad. You can do like say into that, you know, stuff like that, just random strings. End light into side light, D light, end light into side light, say. Just strings like that, strings and combos. Scythe, you have side light active version into end light say, nair, side light active version, side light active version into end light, so into nair, into side air, into nair, and then you can keep on going from there. You have D light non-active active input version, and then you can chase dodge reverse nair and bring them back, and then keep this loop going. You have down air into downlight, stuff like that. So yeah, what else is there? You have cannon. Okay, so downlight there. Oops, sorry. You have You have side light there. You have downlight nair, obviously later HPs. You have side light there, and then yeah, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Downlight there, side light into whatever you want. Side light say. Downlight into jump say. You have say into side light. You have say into end light. You have that, like that sort of stuff. It's just like, I don't know, you can just figure out what you want to do. What else is there? Greatsword. Greatsword, all has its strings, but it's really weird. I don't know how I'm not even going to bother explaining this, but just stuff like that. I'm not even going to bother trying to commentate over that shit. But yeah, I think you understand the gist of it anyway. Axe. Side light near. Oh, sorry. Side light there. End light into side light near. Side light say. Side light near GCD light. Side light near there if you fast fall. Say into side lights, near, or say depending on whatever you want. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can really think of for that one. Koji bow, yeah, covered bow, covered gauntlets, covered cannon, covered guitars are great, like great sword slightly. I've pretty much covered every weapon, right? Yes. Oh, lance, yeah. Side light there. Side light near D, GCD light. Side light there, side light there, say. You have say into side light near D light. Or you have side light near, and then you just like can juggle from there. And I think that's like pretty much it. I really am trying to scroll through the characters and think. I'm not missing any, right? Probably am, but okay. So tips for every single weapon, just small little quick tips. Learn to use near on spears. Very good move. It covers so much area. Egg drop. Learn to egg drop with spear, or like I'd suggest like most weapons, but it's just extremely useful on spear because it's just a very good useful thing to do. Obviously I can't do it on stage, but again, very useful thing. Egg dropping, it's a true combo as well, which it's even better, and it's just really good for edge guarding. And if you lose your weapon, you sort of like you're above the opponent still, so it doesn't really matter. You can just go get another weapon. You want to try and catch people's jumps a bit more often with D-light. You want to punish people on the edge. When they're trying to get back to stage, what you can do is you can ground pound to prevent them from being able to dodge inwards. Yeah. So blasters you really want to space with say and side light. You want to learn to space them, like space out your opponent to like keep them away from you and keep them at a distance. So like, yeah, you just really want to keep opponents at a distance when you're with blasters, and yeah, use near to juggle really well. To edge guard, you can do the little trick. I mean, I should do a tutorial for this. Sorry. What game? Can you please? Okay. I don't know why my okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So yeah, that you can do that for edge guarding, as it covers across the edge when they're sitting on the ledge, and it'll catch a lot of people off guard. You'd be surprised. So yeah. Artemis, Scythe, you want to just learn how to play neutral a little bit better, and how to like apply pressure with movement rather than attacking. I guess that's like a majority of Brawlhalla, but still, you get what I mean. You want to approach with movement rather than just approaching with an attack. For example, movement is your better option. It's just especially like in the case of Scythe. So yeah, you just want to try and read the dodges. Also use the 50-50 dodge read. You know, like that stuff. There's obviously tutorials on YouTube for that, but yeah. That's pretty much it for Scythe. There's not really much. And obviously just learn to edge guard better when you have offstage engagements. Just learn to like do they fast fall out of your dare? Do they just like walk through you? In that case, you can just do a reverse dare and stuff like that. Do they you know, do they jump when you put them off stage? Just things like that. Rocket lines. You want to just learn how to juggle with names. You want to learn some strings. So like side like dare, and then when you hit them off stage with side like save, for example, you want to pay close attention to when they jump and when they don't jump and stuff, so you can go for a like you can just go for a say after a say. You can go for a say after day. I meant, my bad. Other than that, yeah, you're just juggling, catch jumps with this, and just yeah. Do end line into reverse, reverse nair, very good option. Covers a multitude of dodges. Azuri. Okay, so katars, you want to play like really close up. You want to stay as close to your opponent as possible to prevent them from having a chance to beat you out, if that makes sense. So you just want to keep really on top of them and keep the pressure on, and yeah, and just like, you know, you can approach with nair and stuff like that. So with sword, you just play very neutral based. You just punish when you have to. You don't just throw out random moves and stuff like that. You know, sword's like a very neutral based weapon. You can use end like edge guarding very well. Ledge trapping, I mean. Also use get used to, like, you know, hitting say and doing proper movements, learning what combos to use, etc. There's not really much tips for sword, again, very basic weapon. So tip for axe, basically you just play axe like you play axe. Does it even really need an intro? I mean, you use them light on the ground, you fucking get down light when they're in the air. It's pretty easy weapon. Bada boom. I forgot bow. Bad. So bow. Just try to play reactively. So if they're playing grounded, then you want like just like start using downlight a bit more often. If they're playing like a little bit more floaty, then try and like juggle them with endlight and nairs, stuff like that. With hammer, you want to sort of just again play neutral, really good at neutral, high damage combos and strings and stuff. So you're basically just waiting for punishers. Other than that, there's not really like much you can do with it. You return to neutral a lot with hammer. So after you hit them, you go to neutral, react where they go, etc. And yeah, use downlight for like sort of ledge trapping. You can sort of catch like the top of their head a lot of the time when they're peeking over the corner. So yeah, and also learn to use recovery to get rid of people's fucking movement options as quick as possible off stage. With gauntlets, you really want to apply pressure with tech chasing. What tech chasing is, I'll give you a little brief example. So if they dodge right, basically you do a downlight side light or a side light in general, and you sort of spot dodge and react to where they go. Really practice doing this because it's really useful. So side light and then not like that, but you get what I mean. So you just like sort of react to where they go, and you react accordingly. But yeah. Other than that, like, gauntlets are just about like reacting to their dodges and just reacting to their movement and stuff. You can use say, like returning a lot of the time. Like people just get hit by this move more than they should. So mix up your options. Use downlight, grounded, deal like nair, etc. After you hit an end, like dash forward and jump, reverse nair. It'll always catch up dodges and upright dodges. It's extremely useful. Not a lot of people do it, and it's the most common dodge out of endlight. So I'll give you a brief example of what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so if I hit an endlight, all that is pretty much guaranteed, right? So, oh, sorry. So yeah, gauntlets. With orb, you want to play like really reactively. You want to space out with there. You can use it on the edge like this. You can use some of it as a kill option. It's very useful. You go to N-Light as like a typical get-offing tool. Very useful. You can use Say and use like the aerial kit of orb. Very, very good. There's not really much to say about orb. Very simple weapon. So in this section, I'm going to be going over how to use training mode. The main reason for training mode is to help you understand strings, combos, and when you can jump out of certain strings, and when you could fast fall, and when you can dodge, and all that sort of stuff. So I'll go over like the basic options right now. So show damage, obviously give weapon and give gadgets, pretty self-explanatory. You can change the character if you want to, all that sort of stuff. So show damage on, this basically just gives you damage numbers for each attack in the game. Show stun, this just shows when your opponent can jump and dodge. Oh, just convert. So yeah. Like, it just shows when they can jump out of strings, and you see the dodge windows. So for example, if I do this, like that, you see all those dodge windows. It tells you how many frames you have to dodge. So yeah. I'm just going to turn the jump off for now. And then show hitboxes, it shows the hitboxes of every attack. So, as you can see, it gives you a clear indication of every hitbox in the game. So if I do a side stick, right, it's going to show that hitboxing of the attack. So, like, down stick as an example, shows you when the attack actually comes out. Yeah, so that's just like a brief example of what that is. Show hurt boxes, it shows your character's hurt box. So this is the place where you can attack. Like, hold on. Like, what happens is, the moment, like, this little, as long as these boxes right here connect with this part of the character, like a character's hurt box, which is a circle, then the attack will connect and it'll land. So item spot, pretty self-explanatory again. You can like change the skin of your opponent and stuff like that. If you go over to CPU control mode, you can like control a bot. You can control it to mimic you. You can control it to mirror. So bot to thing, for example, I can control the bot. I can put it anywhere I want. And what you can do with this is you can say position reset. Position reset basically just keeps them in place. But if I do this, right, if I push them off the edge, I can get them to keep spawning off the edge if I want to, where I just pressed it. So yeah, it'll keep them there and keep them respawning there, just in case, if I want to maybe just practice like getting them off stage or something, like that. So just things like that. It just helps you keep them in a specific position, and it'll keep resetting them. Damage reset, that like obviously clear indication what that is. It just resets the fucking damage. Like that. That isn't exactly the best example, but as you can see, and then they go back to white, and all its games like retarded or something. What? Oh, I turned on the wrong one. I'm fucking stupid. As you can see, the damage will reset. So you can like do all these like crazy strings and shit like that, but the damage will eventually reset. So as you can see, after I think it's like 2 seconds or something. So yeah, you can set the damage to like whatever HP you want, up to 700, stuff like that. So that helps for like trying strings at later HPs and learning when you can do specific strings and stuff like that. You can set the AI to stand. You can set them to like constantly jump. You can set them to attack light. Alright, so in this section I'm going to be giving some like brief, probably like the biggest tip that you can ever get in Brawlhalla on like really improving in this game. And it's quite simple really, it's just mastering movement. Once you master the movement in Brawlhalla, you've pretty much got like a majority of it down, because you approach with movement, you mix up your options with movement, and it's just so useful. You just have to learn how to use your movement effectively, and yeah, once you learn how to actually like use your movement to your advantage, especially on like platform cancels and stuff like that. I do have a movement guide, which you know, which is very useful. You can go watch that if you like, but I'm not going to like explain everything in this video. But yeah, the brief explanation is just like work on your movement insanely. And what I mean by this is, you know, learn your dash jumps. Learn how to do this. It gets you from places quicker. Learn how to like flow in between, you know, ledges and stuff like that. You know, like and, you know, you're just learning a bunch of options, and as soon as you master the movement, you've pretty much got this game down. You know, then you just work on punishing bad like approaches from the opponent. So yeah, not really else much to it like in explaining like how to actually improve. The real way you improve is just speed up your movement completely, speed up everything, use your dodges, like just use your dodges as much as possible, if that makes sense. Like, don't use them silly, like, you know, just randomly spot dodging for no reason. They're gonna catch on to it eventually. Like, you just mix up your options. So say I approach once, so I dodge towards them, and then I go for a side light. That's too much of an obvious approach. Dash forward, dash back, and then go for the side light. You know, mix things up and just do things like that. Have that mindset of actually just mixing your approach options up, so your opponent is always guessing, and that's the point of the game, right? You just want to keep people guessing as much as possible. But yeah, like, you know, just fucking use platforms to your advantage, like. And it's just crazy. You can do so many movements. You know, learn how to snap back to ledge. Learn how to snap back to ledge like that. Oh, sorry. You know, just learn things like that. It's just learn dash jump fast falls and stuff like, or dash jump fast fall reverse. Just random shit like that. It really does help your movement. It helps your fingers. Helps speed up everything. So. The last part sort of ties in with this when I said like work on your movement. It sort of all ties in together, but something that you can really work on to actually like playing this game is focus less on attacking rather than rather than just randomly attacking and just throwing out random attacks and hoping that they would hit, or even just trying to predict. You sort of play reactively, and that's the best way to play Brawlhalla, is play like sort of reactively. React to where they go, and understand, like, you know, their options. So the biggest thing that ties into movement is approaching. You need to have pretty good movement at high level play to even approach in the first place, because if you don't, you're slow. You're not going to be walking very fastly. You know, you're just going to be like dash back, and you're just going to be jumping in the air. It becomes pretty obvious that like this is where, you know, like, you just like mix up your dodges, you mix up your approaches, you mix up your fast falls, you mix up your jumps, you mix up your options out of hit stun. That's another big key as well, is when you get hit, you need to try and have the mental game plan of going into the game, and when you do, go into the game with like, oh, okay, when the opponent hits me, I'm going to keep focusing on trying to dodge in different directions to keep the opponent guessing, because it's something that you have to do to really improve at Brawlhalla, and you'll notice that once you do it, you become better at Brawlhalla. It's just an amazing tip. You really need to work on that, is just like, don't panic out of hit stun. Focus on just dodging. Occasionally don't dodge. See what the reaction is. Do they immediately go for a follow-up? If they don't, maybe you can wake up. Maybe you can follow up with maybe you can jump out of the hit stun and attack yourselves if you know they're not going to go up for a follow-up. Stuff like that. It's simple things that can be incorporated into your game plan. Can be done by just reading your opponent and just like focusing on what they're doing, and just during a game. So yeah, that's just like a general tips that I can give you on approaching. Also, another way to approach is throw your weapon. Like, weapon throws are completely broken still. I think they always will be. There's no real way to balance them unless they get rid of like hit stun completely out of true combos. That way, weapon throws wouldn't be such a bad thing. If they didn't do, in my opinion, the way you'd actually balance weapon throws is remove the damage from weapon throws. Not only that, remove the hit stun so you can add a little bit of hit stun, but make it so you can't like attack immediately, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is you're able to throw your weapon, but you have to read where they go, if that makes sense. So you hit them with their weapon, they're going to immediately want to dodge, right? So then it adds like a mix-up game and an approach option for those who struggle maybe approaching. Like, you can throw your weapon and then you read them dodging in. So then you go for that GC downlight, and then boom, you get a punish. Stuff like that, and then you can read them from that, and it'll improve the game plan. Because I think weapon throws are just too cheesy. There's too many true combos. There's sick true combos from it. It's ridiculous. Shouldn't be in the game, in my opinion. But that's just me. That's just a general overview of my opinion on it anyway. But yeah, general tips is just weapon throw. Like, if it's not working, it's not working. But if it's working, it's working. Simple as that. So yeah, this is like gonna be an in-depth way of like game plan, I suppose, of just how to completely download your opponent, and this is a good thing to do in your game for a majority of players. People don't really mix up their options until like late elo, where they're actually focusing on mixing up their dodges, mixing up their movement and stuff like that. A lot of people are just oblivious to that. They just want to play the game. They just like occasionally run around, do a little bit of dodging, and then boom, they just try and attack. That's more or less. People don't really think in this game per se. They don't try to like actually improve. But one thing you can do is download your opponent, and what I mean by that is sparring is very useful. So I just want to mention that first off the bat. Sparring players better than you is going to help you improve dramatically. So this is the biggest tip that I can help you improve as well, alongside movement I said earlier, is keep in mind that playing against better players, although you're going to be triggered at times, and you're going to be like, fuck this, oh, this is just unfair, this is unplayable, how do you counter this? It's fine. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel frustrated that you're not improving at the game. It takes time, and some people, it takes 200 hours, some people it takes thousands of hours, you know, it is what it is. And there's never one specific thing that you can do to, like, that works for everyone. You have to find that thing for yourself that works. Or maybe you don't want to go competitive, or you don't want to improve, and you just want to have fun, and that's fine. And that, you know, you don't have to improve at this game or become extremely good to be appreciated. You know, just play the game and enjoy it. And that's the best thing I can really say, to be honest, is just enjoy gaming. Just enjoy playing the fucking game. Don't worry about what anyone says, the legend you play, how toxic they are. Just ignore it. It's childish. You know what I mean? This is a game. There's always going to be toxicity, but play whatever you want. Enjoy the game. That's the main thing. But yeah. Oh yeah, downloading your opponent. Okay. Downloading your opponent. Now, this is something that you need to start learning if you really, really want to improve. So, I'll give you just a quick few examples. If I do a sidelight D-light, and their immediate reaction is a down dodge, which seems to be the case actually, funny enough. So if I sidelight downlight and they dodge down, you can sort of punish with a sidelight sit, right? So this is something that you want to keep tabs on. So if they're dodging down every time, then you need to focus on punishing that dodge down, because it'll grant you a lot of damage. So I'll even set the bot to dodge down. You know, all that's pretty much guaranteed damage. You know what I mean? So it's always good to just react to what they do. So say I hit a nair or something, right? If I hit a nair, and they react. This is what I mean. Like if you hit a nair, for example. Sorry, I mean, I've not slept in 3 days. Again, like I said at the start of the video, this is very, my brain is like overdrive mode. But anyway, yeah. So you notice they dodge neutral, wait, and punish. You know what I mean? Wait and punish, and just like react to what they're doing, and see their reaction. Do they dodge at all? If they don't dodge occasionally try it. Just go for the full combo. Just go for the full string. If they're not dodging, go for the full string and mix those up. Because if your opponent's like, oh, he's trying to read my dodge, and then they don't dodge, that's like a counter read, right? So then you go for another counter read. You go, okay, well, you're not gonna dodge, so I'm just gonna do this example. And this is just in line with learning players' habits and stuff like that. And other things is their movement. After whipping an attack, do they hold backwards? Do they hold away from you? Or do they go like straight, you know, if they go like this, do they go straight through you? In that case, you can just wait and then and then do the opposite direction as they go through you, you know, attacking like that. And you can punish it. Do they immediately come back off stage? So they just got knocked off stage and then they immediately try and recovery. Do they do that? If so, backdash and punish with a say. I'm giving you as many examples like as I can, really, because it'll give you an insight to what I'm talking about. So if you know that they're coming back to stage immediately, you can say, or another example, do they go low or do they go high? So as you can see on my cursor, do they try to go back to this or do they go back to the stage? And in that case, you punish accordingly. You can sort of follow their movement and react to where they go, and the best tip off stage is match their jump height. This is the best thing that you can do to keep on top of your opponent, is matching jump height and mixing your offstage options. So like if they're going down to the stage all the time, then punish it, like try and punish it, try and go down. If they go above you, then try and punish high. If they are sitting on ledge and they camp a lot and you can't really like edge guard them, and then they come back to stage immediately, you can and then they try dodging in through you and then punishing you for trying to edge guard, then you know what, you backdash, you wait for it, or you just dodge and then you punish it, etc. Like there's loads of things you can do, and there's a lot of options. Like say I hit sidelight Seer, sidelight Seer off stage and they immediately fast fall. What did that, like, the immediate reaction should be like that, for example, like you can dodge down. It's really difficult. Like that. Do they just fast fall and go to the bottom of the stage? That's something you could focus on. Do they approach with double jump says? Because a lot of people do this in plat and stuff like that. They'll just double jump over you and then say, and this is just really, really punishable if you know what you're doing. Sorry. Yeah, it's just extremely punishable, and this is what you really, really want to do. Is just focusing on those type of things. Dodging habits are just a good example. See, a lot of people think that dodge reading is like pretty much the only thing you need to do to read your opponent, but it's everything. It ties in with everything, and this comes from sparring your opponent and actually learning what are the habits. What do they do after hits done? Do they jump? Do they fast fall? Do they dodge? Do they not dodge? And all these factors can be played in with how a person plays, and this is just another thing to add to your mental game plan when going in. So I've given you like a pretty brief overview and quite a few examples of what you're trying to look for in reading and downloading your opponent and what they do. So yeah. Also another option, another thing that you can look out for is wake ups. Do they wake up? If so, like say for example you're on Scythe, if they wake up and shit like that, boom, then you dash back and then you do it and then you punish them. Shit like that. It's just, it's simple, but it's some things that people don't focus on while they're gaming. So yeah. This section I'm going to be talking about stage control, and it's very, very important, especially for stuff like hammer, bow, and like long range weapons and stuff like that. Well, yeah, for every weapon stage control is important, but that's not the point. What I mean by this is if they're on stage, if they're off stage, something you really need to get in the habit of is basically just stage control. Once you have stage control, people tend to give it up too fast. So if I hit you with a sidelight sit, if I hit this person with a sidelight sit and then knocked off stage, I immediately have stage control. I do not have to go down there. Unless I go for a hard read and I know where they're going to go when they go do that, then don't go off stage. There's no reason to. Why do you need to? And if you have stage control, you can sort of just sit here and punish. So how? And this ties into what I said before. What do they do when they get knocked off stage? And if they just immediately recover, then you have stage control. You can just simply punish. It's very easy. You sit back around this place, like this far distance, enough for a punish if they come. And if they do go high, this is where you can read them. You know, you double jump nair or something like that. It's something you really want to get into the habit of, is just really keeping your stage control. So is your opponent like up here? If your opponent's like up here and jumping around, they're in the uncomfortable spot, and you can punish them for that. Especially with weapons like bow, platforms like this, you're screwed. This is where bow shines. As a prime example, you know what I mean? I'll sort of just get bow really quickly on my sexy Yumiko. What I mean. So like, I have the stage control right here. If they're like jumping around up here, they have to like approach me to be able to do everything. They're on the side. They're in an uncomfortable position. Maybe they're in red. Maybe they're on like low HP and they're in red and they're afraid of a kill option and they don't know what to do, and they're panicking, they don't know what to do, just jumping away. And you have complete stage control, and this is what you want to keep. You don't want to throw it away. You want to stay grounded if you have stage control. And you know, this is what happens. You can basically, like, you know, you can use air, N-Light for complete, like, for like an anti-air, and this is what you do. You know, you can keep control. You know, mixing up downlight, you can mix N-Light, you can mix up nair, and just keeping that stage control, because they're in the uncomfortable. If they're above you and you have something to cover those areas, then they're in the uncomfortable position. They have to come down and something like that to be able to like punish you and stuff like that, and to actually attack. They're in the uncomfortable position. You have the stage control. Make sure to learn to keep it, because it is very important, especially at higher level play, and you want to actually improve. So this is sort of a direct path into like improving on your sort of like mental game. Not only that, it sort of just like ties into improving just overall. And this is something that you should probably really work on and go into games with. It doesn't matter what game mode you're playing. You can be playing ranked 1v1, you can play ranked 2v2, you can be playing ranked morph for all you care, you know, just any game mode, and you just want to improve. The best way to do this is go in with a mental game plan. So what I mean by this is, if I go for too many says, so say I panic all the time and I just keep going, I jump says, and I'm getting punished for it every time, and I keep panicking. That's the one thing you need to not do in Brawlhalla, is panic. You need to learn how to use your options effectively and how to keep the mental okay, or in a decent state. Do you know what I mean? It's really difficult sometimes when you're versing a better opponent and they're destroying you. Like, what the hell do I do? And then you panic dodge, and then they wreck you even worse because you're panicking. This is where your mental game needs to say, alright, stop, alright, focus on what they're doing, focus. Bring that thought in your head of like, alright, I'm getting fucking destroyed. Mental, go, just like, put that into your brain and just like, come on, alright, focus on what they're doing. Focus on what they're doing. Slow your breathing down. That's something that a lot of people do, like, shit. What do I do? And you're just panicking. Slow the breathing down. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just focus and just say, just slow down your movement, slow down your entire game plan, and I promise you, standing still sometimes is a lot better than moving and dodging and panicking. It's just stand still, focus on what they're doing, just focus on what they're doing, and count, and try to think of a counter for that. And if you lose, it's okay. Remember, in these type of games, man, you're always going to lose to someone. It doesn't matter how good you are, you will always lose to an opponent eventually. There's never going to be 100% win rate. It is what it is. It's something you're going to have to deal with, and you need to learn from your mistakes. Don't blame the game, because Actually, you know what? I'm going to go into another section where I'm going to talk about this, but in general, you want to improve your mental game plan, and it will really help you improve. Keep calm at all times and just try to keep calm. That is it. Just keep calm during your games and you'll be fine, and you won't struggle as much. And the calmer you are, the better, because your mental's like, damn, I'm okay. Sorry, chill. You're chilled out. There's nothing to be panicked about. If you're panicky, you're jumping, you're spamming your jump key, you're spamming your dodge key all the time, you're gonna get screwed up. It's as simple as that. So that's this section pretty much over with. I just wanted to give like a brief insight on it. So on like improving your game plan in general and what you should do. So yeah, keep all that stuff in mind. So on to the next section. So in this section, I'm just gonna this is gonna be like a short little section on getting back to stage. Now, this is something that ties into, again, working on your movement, all that sort of stuff. But just some general tips on going back to stage. So, a lot of people tend to dash jump ground pound a lot. So if you're versing that a lot, what you can sort of do is bait out a lot of the times. So you really want to start playing a bit reactively, because if they go for the dash jump ground pound, you need to learn to react to stuff, and this ties into playing reactively. And I'll talk a little bit about this in like another section. When returning to stage, you want to focus on what their habits are. Do they come off stage a lot? And if they do, what you can do is just try and keep calm and focus on what they're going to do. And it's something that to get back to stage, for example, go for like a nair occasionally, because you'd be surprised how many times you can just like use your says and nairs and stuff like that just to return to stage. It works especially well with like characters in general, and it works well with getting back to stage, like Scythe, for example. If you get knocked off stage and you don't have any jumps, what you can do is immediately do this. Use your recovery options and use says and nairs to get back to stage. I don't know how I just touched. And it'll really start to help you because it'll stuff any approaches that are coming towards you, right? It'll stuff any approaches that are coming towards you, and it's really helpful. So another thing you can do to improve your getting back to stage is using signatures to get back to stage, which is also really useful. And this ties back to the legend tips back in my back in the previous sections. So like Fate, for example, has a side sig on orb. You can use it to get back to stage. If you don't have any options, not like I just did, but so if I don't have any options, right, I got nothing, and then I can just return. Because if I actually give you an example, I can't get back to stage, like, oh no, in that case, you could have side-sigged and you would have reached stage. Now, sometimes it's a bit obvious. Sometimes your opponent will punish it and they'll just see it coming. But sometimes they don't really expect it, and a lot of times you can get back to stage, no problem, without punishes. So, really good option is just to, do that sort of stuff. Because like Thor, for example, Thor NSIG, you can use that to stall, all that sort of stuff. Pretty short section, I know. I don't really know what else to put here. Recovering back to stage is the kind of an iffy thing because it's all dependent on what your opponent is doing again. So it's like I can't really specifically tell you, oh, this is what you do every single time. In this section, I'm sort of just going to be talking about toxicity, right? And this section isn't really to do with improving in the game. I just wanted to throw this in there because it does. You'll come across it a lot, and I want you to understand that you need to just sort of learn to ignore it and this type of stuff. You need to not get mad about it, and you need to understand that if you lose, it is 100% your fault. Some things, definitely the game's fault, like combos dropping or strings dropping and stuff like that. That is definitely the game's fault. That is not your fault. Don't blame yourself for that. But if you are genuinely losing because you're getting hit by too many signatures and stuff like that, it's completely your fault. And you need to really start understanding this, and this ties into toxicity. Do not be toxic to other players, or don't call them names, don't tell them to kill themselves and shit like that, all because you lost a game. It is a game, and that's the point. You need to have fun. You need to stop focusing on wanting to win all the time. Yeah, you should, of course you want to win, right? But that's not your game plan, man. You shouldn't be focusing on trying to win every single game. You should be focusing on trying to improve, which will then result into you getting better at the game. And that's the biggest thing, is there's a lot of toxicity in games in general. You know what I mean? There's a lot of childish, immature people out there that will insult you for losing, and they'll blame the game. They'll say, oh, the game's bad, it's not me, it's not me. When in reality, it's the majority of the time, it's you. It is on you to improve at the game. It is not anyone else's issue, it is yours. And you really need to take this into account. And I understand, losing feels like shit. Getting taunted on feels like shit sometimes. But something I've learned over the years, and this, being toxic and shit like that, like, if someone insults me in a game, it really doesn't affect me at all. Like, you can tell me to kill myself, you can tell me to die, I really don't care. If you have to resort to childish insults, I already know you lost. It is what it is. Even if you won, even if they win, like, you won the game and they're toxic to you, it's their problem. It is their problem. If people can't, like, if people don't even have the emotional intelligence of a 5-year-old, then there's no point arguing them. Don't give them the time of day. Don't even bother replying to them. And this is why chat was removed. I didn't see the point in it. I don't know why. Toxicity is going to be a thing in every game regardless. I don't understand. Like, no one asked for the chat removal. You know, you occasionally got like an easy or kill yourself in chat, but other than that, that's pretty much every single game. Why are you trying to remove it? But it is what it is. It's just something you're going to have to be prepared for. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, toxicity is a big problem in a majority of games, and you need to understand that it is always going to be a thing. And one thing you need to do is learn to take it not to heart, because a lot of these people, they don't mean it. They're just mad on losing or winning, or they're just toxic in general, and they don't like, and they just like to be an asshole, or they just get a kick out of it, and it's fine. That's just childish behavior, and you need to rise above that, and you need to go above their level, if that makes sense. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's just like a quick tidbit on just like the toxicity in games in general. I find it really fucking childish, and I hope you guys think so too, and I really hope you guys enjoy the video, because enjoy the rest of the video. But like this section, I just wanted to go briefly over it. So yeah, I know I said in the last section that there'd be more sections, and I hope you enjoyed the other sections after the toxicity one. I don't really have anything else to put in here, so if there are any questions on like improving, then please leave it in the comments. And always remember that I am available to do coaching. I give you know, I can do plat coaching, diamond coaching, and all that sort of stuff, and I give tips like specific to them that are gonna help improve. So I do individual coaching, and this is for only £3 on PayPal for a like 4-hour session, so it's very cheap compared to a majority. You can get free coaching if you like, that's fine. I need money for my time, obviously, because at the moment I'm not living in the best financial situation, so it is what it is. So I do coaching, and if anyone does want to learn, the price is negotiable, by the way. If you're struggling with money, maybe you don't have as much money, it's fine. I'll literally work it out. We can work around that easily, no problem. But there still is going to be some sort of cost to me coaching you. But again, I'll give you as much insight into the game as I possibly can, specific to you, so your playstyle. What do you do? What are you not doing right? How are you losing? And maybe I'll even find some guys that are better than me. Who knows? But that wasn't a cocky thing, by the way. But yeah, I'm happy to help people. There just will be a small cost, because one, I'm saving for a new computer right now, so that'll really fucking help. And when I do that, I'll be able to release further videos on how to improve on your game plan and everything, literally everything. And if you do have any questions, my Steam link is in the description. My PayPal link for donations is in the description. And if there's literally any other questions, put in the comments. My Steam link's in there, and you can add me. You can play with me whenever you want. I'm online most of the time, so if you want to play, come play, man. I'm happy to play with people. But other than that, there's not really much I can do for this video. I think I've gone on long enough in this video. We're approaching, I think it's like, I've looked at all the clips, I think it's over an hour and a half, so definitely a pretty in-depth guide. I'm very tired, so after I edit and upload this, I'm gonna go sleep. So, hell yes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and again, please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever, and just comment. If you didn't enjoy it, tell me, you know, just maybe tell me something that I didn't cover, and I can cover it maybe in a future guide. So it always helps. Any feedback will be happily taken in. So I love you guys, and take it easy, and have a good day, and sorry for me being so grumpy. Peace, guys.